Well, what is up, guys? Welcome back to Downhill Smooth Tarmac. We're back in the workshop for another bike build, and fresh off the success of my latest 650B on-one conversion, decided to go for a retro build for a change, back to the old school, bit of 90s, bit of Specialized. 26 ain't dead. Well, it isn't in this workshop, even though that 650B bike is really, really good. So what have I got for you? Well, I've got this. It's a mid-late 90s Specialized Hardrock. It's not a particularly Gucci frame, but it is in an amazing colour. And you may have seen it in another build where I made it into an adventure bike that didn't fit me in the slightest. So it got stripped down into bits and ends up just like this. And I didn't really know what to do with it until I had a workplace-based epiphany thanks to my colleague Martin and his love of these particular Retro Forks. Let me show you. Okay, so growing up in the 90s like I did, rally was the bike of choice for those of us growing up in the Midlands, particularly as, you know, we all had parents of a certain age. But if you were lucky enough to have suspension forks and that kind of cool stuff, you'd normally have, maybe if you're lucky, some RockShox Quadra with the silly needle that you put in to pump them up like a football. But I've recently been reacquainted with these, the RST. Check out these beautiful condition RST 461s, complete with a 1-inch steerer. Now, my colleague Martin is a smidgen younger than I am, and apparently these were the kind of thing that you aimed for if you couldn't afford bombers. Well, I just rode a rigid old bike because I was completely broke. So these came to my attention thanks to him, because he gave them to me. He then showed me how you can put the innards from a more recent 318, 381, something like that, inside and make it squishy again, instead of all the elastomers that were not elastomery at all. They were like a gloop. So yeah, he's been rebuilt. They're lovely. They've got incredible detail. Check out these top caps. Just really, really pretty. 1-inch steerer means they're gonna fit this frame. So let me show you what else I've got. Okay, so these forks are cool as hell. I certainly missed out the first time around, but they are a perfect fit for my retro build, as is this. Oh yes, if you can't recognise it because it's not focusing, this is some 8-speed XT. Yeah, one of my all-time favourites. These shifters are so hard to find. When these mint ones came along, I thought, I'm going to finish my collection. And I even managed to find something that looks a little bit like the XT chainrings and crank arms. This is actually Dior X, it's a little bit later, but it's the same style with that spider fit stuff. Yeah. It's better than anything else I've got. Found these really nice handlebars for it as well. They're like a polished alley, which I think will go quite well. And they're 1-inch steer. Yeah, this bike is going to be cool. Cantilever brakes, of course, and V brakes like some kind of animal. I found these. They're a Weinmann, and they're really quite cool. Yeah, I'll go with them. I've got some cool levers for them as well. These are kind of a favourite, and they go really well with 8-speed XT. Some nice SLR. Oh, look at that. Oh, still working perfectly. It's going to be quite the build. So that is the plan. It's what we're going for. We're basically going to take that awesome candy coloured frame and drip it in shiny XT and nice bits. Got some nice wheels set aside for it as well, and some pretty cool tyres that are probably a little bit newer. But anyway, let's sort out the headset first, because I want to see what this fork's going to look like. It's awesome. Right, first order of business is to get rid of this 1-inch steerer fork, the rigid one, pop it all out and fit this, which is a 1-inch A-head headset to go along with the 1-inch threadless fork. Oh, drop that. Take that little lot out. Oh, it's greasy. It's almost like we're working on bicycles. Look at that. What a lovely little headset. Nice. This is from a weird era, 1-inch A-head, or a head, or whatever you want to call it. Put a little grease just to help it along. There we go. Top, bottom. If you don't have a press, you know my rules. I wouldn't judge you for using a block of wood and a hammer. You'd be finished quicker as well. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, lovely. Make sure your cups are in straight. Okay, so with the fork ready to go in, we've got to fit a race onto the fork crown itself. Make sure you use the right one. Most of these come with 2 different sizes. Use a headset, race setting tool, or like me, a large seat post and a mallet. One race. Oh yeah, it's going to be perfect this. Put some grease on. There we go. Bottom with this little seal as well. Oh, we have all the mod cons here, people. Plenty of grease, lovely. Same up top side, plenty of grease. I've made a boo-boo. Need a star nut. I'll be back. I mean, honestly, what kind of idiot doesn't fit a star nut? Me, this guy. There we go. Right. Star nut. All the bits. So there's a top and everything for this. No, that's not it. Good grief, that's it. Okay, so let's not expect miracles here, people. We've got some lovely spacers though. Very, very nice. A nice bar. Oh, that's made me happy. So we've got a little dinky little top cap. Marvellous. Tighten it up just like a big boy one. There's no play. Oh, mamma mia! Okay, so that is already very, very cool. Just check that out. Oof, retro. Next little job. Now we've got that fork on, let's get a bottom bracket. Okie dokie. I had to take a bit of a guess on the bottom bracket. I've gone for a 113, 68 by 113. I think that's going to be about right for me. I've offered it up and it looks okay, so I hope it does what it needs to. Boosh! With the bottom bracket in, let's get these, well, I'm going to call them XT-ish cranks because they're exactly the same design, they're just from a slightly different era. So look at the Q factor on there, spacing's good. tightening that up. Very nice. Okay. Put my front derailleur on, which is of course XT. Oh yeah, now we got it. That went so well. I'm going to put the back one on as well. While we're doing drivetrain, let's put the rear one on as well. While I'm screwing this in, just want to talk again about how good this 8-speed XT from this era is. It is super versatile. It will handle 9-speed with a 9-speed shifter. The front will handle pretty much anything you throw at it. The rear, I've used this with up to 40 tooth. It's been absolutely fine. That's why I love it. That's why I've got so much of it in my collection. It's my favourite of the XT eras, and it's kind of era appropriate for the frame itself as well, which is an extra winner. Right, I think we should put a wheel set in it now. Let's do it. Wheel set! Okay, so wheel-wise, silent clutch hubs, Mavic X138 rims, and an 1134 8-speed cassette. Can't ask for much more than that. I actually had these tyres on this bike years ago, and they're really weird, like an octopus squid-like pattern. But hopefully these wheels are just going to set it off right nice. Silent Mac in his house. Right, front one. Front one is the same sort of thing. Well, in fact, it's a matching set. These actually came off another bike that I am restoring at the moment, not on camera. It is a Cantilever Super V1000, so this is a nice wheel being added to the mix here. God, those RST Forks are popping. Beautiful. Fantastico! Right. I'm feeling we're going to need as much chain as we can get here, because that's a big old chain ring out back. Chain ring out back? Cassette out back. Goodness me. I think we'll be alright there. Well, I don't take off any more than that because this has got some serious range to cover. Let's take these out and quick link it. I was working it out in my head. I think this is the 3rd or the 4th build I've ever done with this bike. Might be the 4th. It's had so many turns around. It's been super original. It's been with an older group set. It's been as an adventure bike, and now it's this. I'm going to take one more link out of that. That's way too slow. Now it's this with kind of like era appropriate suspension and other cool bits. I'm looking at it already and I cannot wait to ride it. Perfect. Oh yeah. Looks nice. While we're back here, let's see how these limits look. Oh yeah. Look at that for a range. So we've got a 24-34 climbing gear there. That's plenty to work with. And then we've got 44-11 out front, more than enough. This bike's just for a bit of fun as well, so we've got lots to work with here. Really cool. And that silent hub, not as silent as it used to be, clearly. Cool. Right, let's cut over to the cockpit. Right, cockpit area. We know what we're having. Having that gorgeous XT. We're having beautiful SLR levers that are going to sit with it just nicely. Oh no, maybe not. Oh, okay, that could be a challenge. Then we can make it work. Where's the other one gone? It's there. Right, so we could have a bit of a situation here. Yeah, so they fit together, but they don't That's okay. We'll just have to stagger them slightly. I'm okay with that. We are mixing eras a little bit here, so these are older because they're for canties. This was a V-brake group set, but I want canties because of this design for the fork. Grips taken care of by these slightly long but nice wiffly waffly grips. God, it's going to be narrow. Right, where's the Bristos? Could have a little dab of the Bristos. Oh yeah. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Oh yes. Nice added bonus of using the old Bristos is it makes your workshop smell like your nana's house when she's getting ready for a night out. Well, that could just be my nana. Bless her. Oh yes, retro flavoured. Oh, it's got to do a little bit of tweakery now to get a cockpit we're happy with. So brake lever's about there. Tighten that one up. Then we're going to have to run these just next to them. About there. Hopefully that'll give us what we need. Yeah, nice. Nice. It's not perfect, but it'll allow me to build what I want to build, so that makes me very happy. Wow. This is looking really nice. Really nice. Canty brakes next. Before I do the canties, just have a look at that. Okay, so before we fit the brakes, a little bit of grease on the posts. Let's get a brake for each side. No idea how good these Wymans are going to be. They look nice though. Wow, okay. Let's get a couple of bolts in here. I'd normally use thread lock on these bolts, but they're a little bit corroded, so I'm just going to use a little bit of grease. Just because I'd rather be able to get them out again. Okay, right. I got it. There we go. Right, so set these up. Yeah, we'll get them approximate and then we'll put a cable in. That gets us in the ballpark. Let's get a cable in, please. Oh yeah. Oh, that's magnificent. Delicious coated cable. There we go. Straddly. Okay, so these Wymans have a really nice straddle setup. This two-piece situation is going to help us to set up the brake properly. Oh, for crying out loud. You just do as you're told. Mamma mia. Oh, let's see what we get straight away. Far too much movement. Okay, with a little bit of fettling off camera because there was some swearing. There we go. I'm happy with that for a front canty brake. Just repeat it on the back. Okay, so that was a bit of an ordeal, that rear caliper. Turns out one of the springs had gone walkies, and just finding the right spring made me want to just throw it all in the bin. So I'm not going to stop, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to get enthused. In fact, I can feel it bubbling. Let's enthuse, let's back brake, because I love canters, I love it. Okay, so minor meltdown over. Let's continue to route this lovely back brakes. This bike is actually quite close to being finished. So I want to make it abundantly clear that the debate over metal ends versus plastic ends will rage on, because I think the metal ones are better. These plastic ones are perfectly nice to work with though, I must say. Perhaps I'm just old-fashioned. Oh, I wonder if I've got one of those liner things for the top tube. Right, to the back of the bike! Right, that is working now. I've got a front and rear brake that are working successfully. These Wyman brakes are the weirdest things to set up. Seem to remember them being easier. Anyway, let's do the gears next, even I can't mess that up. Okay, so here's a fun one for you. If you've never done these 8-speed XT, this is the only thing I don't like about these. It's changing the cable involves undoing 2 screws, taking out a little cover, like so, to reveal the gear cable. They actually replaced this on DRLX slightly later on. It had a hinge, you just popped it open. Much better method. There we go. Nice. Then we'll put the cover back on, get on with our lives. Okay, so with those cables in place, I've then just gone ahead and put the outers for the front cables where they need to be. Now I can set up those back gears. Then this is pretty much done. Yeah, just like that. Now I'd normally set up the back first, but I've got concerns over the spacing on this front set of chain rings, so I'm going to do the front one first. What is life without a little controversy? I want to make sure this shifts properly before I get too excited about it. Let's just see what we get here. Hopefully I'm worrying over nothing. My goodness, that's magnificent. Oh yes, it works fine. To the back. Okay, so after the absolute success of the front derailleur, let's see if we can make it a double. And we plumb in the rear one. I'm using lined outers. They've all been lubricated before fitting. These are all things that you need to be aware of, people, so you get a better end result. Oh wow, God, that is magnificently nice to use. Smashing. Let's cut some cables. This is done. Oh yeah. Well, all right, check out the 90s Hardrock. Last of the good Specialized steel. It might only be a humble Hardrock Sport, but it is in this cool cherry colour, and it is set off by those RST Forks, I think. And with those more modern internals, they work. All right, they're okay. Finishing kit, all that lovely 8-speed XT and the other mixed parts there work perfectly. The canties are about as good as you might expect. Once the pads bed in, it'll be a little bit better. Slightly more modern addition is those charged splashback tyres. I just love these because they're from like the mid-2000s when Tamwell's kind of first tried to make a comeback. And I think they work really, really well on the bike. Overall, it looks great. It's got a triple, it's got all the XT. It's just can't wait to get out and get it kind of dirty, to be honest, because it looks cool as anything. I've had a quick test ride. It is quite aggressive in the old, you know, retro mountain bike way. So maybe if I could raise the stem a touch, I'll be happy. Anyways, till we get a few miles under a belt, we won't know. And as always, you have to wait for another video for that. And with that, I'm going to sign off to say I hope your next ride is downhill, smooth tarmac, keep your wheels spinning, keep your rubber on the road or your knobblies out on that trail. Be safe out there, look out for one another, remember to stop and offer help. You might have what somebody else doesn't, and able to get them home safe. Be a good human being first, be an even better cyclist second. If you get a minute, it would be amazing if you would like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. But, and it's a huge but, as always, don't let that get in the way of you getting out and riding your bike. Until next time, thank you for watching.